if you're in the gym, what kind of exercises would you benefit from most in terms of optimizing fat loss?
So anyone who's starting out in the gym wants to make sure they're focusing on the big six. So if you do these 6 exercises, you will train your whole body. And that's going to be a horizontal push and a vertical push. So that's basically just some sort of chest press and shoulder press. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a vertical pull down, so just pulling anything from above your head, and a horizontal row, which is just pulling anything towards your chest. You can do all of these on barbells, machines, dumbbells. There's lots of different variations. And then for your legs, you're going to want to do some sort of leg press, which could be like a lunge, squat, leg press. And then some sort of hip hinge. So that's going to be like a Romanian deadlift, a deadlift. If you want to do them in a machine, which is more of an isolation exercise, you could do like a lying hamstring curl or seated hamstring curl. That's more of an isolation exercise. But those 6 that I just went through there's lots of variations of the exercises. But if you do all 6, you train your whole body. And it's, people talk about, I don't have enough time. Like, you can do those 6 movements for like 2 to 3 sets per exercise, and you could do that in like 20 minutes in your house with like minimal equipment. So that's a really effective way of training your whole body in a very short space of time. And obviously there's levels to that. You can do it obviously for not just 20 minutes, you can do it for 60 minutes or more, depending on where you're at in your experience level. But really mastering them 6 exercises is because they're compound movements, which means you're moving 2 joints, not one. So if you think about your shoulder press, it's your elbow and your shoulder. You think about your squat, it's your hip and your knee. You're using multiple muscle groups, so you're getting the most bang out of your buck. Like if I were to just do bicep curls, I'm just using my biceps, which are, a smaller muscle on someone's frame, versus I do a squat, I'm using my glutes, my quads, my hamstrings, my calves, my core is engaged, possibly even some of my arms are engaged. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of muscles being worked. So not only are you going to be able to build more muscle, but you're also going to burn more calories.
Yeah. Very fantastic advice, Jaymie Moran. What about then we get a lot of people that want to reduce their tummy fat, for instance, big bugbear for a lot of ladies.
Yeah.
And they come to you and they're like, I've been doing 1,000 crunches a day and I still have got this fat on my tummy. What kind of advice are you going to give those ladies?
It's not advice that people ever really want to hear, is it? Doing, full body resistance training is important. Training that area definitely, and having some sort of muscle on that area is also important. So when you do strip down and lose the fat, the muscle to fat ratio is maybe there's more muscle there, so you can appear more defined at a higher body fat percentage. Like someone who's got very well developed, say, abs, you would see them at a higher body fat percentage, even if they have more fat around the stomach, because the abs almost push through. So building muscle in that area is important to achieve more of that tone look, but it does just come down to losing overall body fat, and it will eventually come off that area. And the midsection for both men and women just tends to be an area where we store more fat, and especially for any ladies going through perimenopause and menopause, possibly going and looking and getting your blood work done and getting your hormones tested, just to make sure that if your hormones, aren't in alignment, that's a step that you're taking, because that can also have an impact in terms of where you store your body fat.
Yeah, but just to be clear, doing some sit-ups is not going to reduce the fat that's on your tummy, because you can't spot reduce.
You can't do sit-ups or do a core exercise and expect it to come off that area. You just have to persist through, get lean, and if you get truly lean, you will not have as much fat in that area as you would like.